friends, and welcome back to another video. My name is Kylie. I am the artist of this channel, and today we are going to be doing a part 2 of letting Pinterest draw or choose what I draw. You guys really liked this one on my last video. It had pretty good views for me, and yeah, I enjoyed making it, so I was like, why not just do another one? So today we're going to be doing it a little bit different because I noticed a lot of people who do this challenge, they typed in similar words that I did, and everyone was kind of getting somewhat similar results, and I didn't want to draw the same thing that one, everyone else was drawing, and two, a lot of those things that are like, if you search like item or object, the first thing that pops up is going to be like that little clock, a phone, cherry, like there's a certain few things that always pop up at the top of people's pages, I've noticed, especially artists. So I kind of didn't want to draw the same thing that other people were drawing, and I didn't want to draw anything I've already drawn because I've drawn a lot of the basic stuff that pops up when you search those kind of things. So today for this one I searched up unique face or unique portrait or something like that. So I got this beautiful person, and I really like how the sketch ends up turning out. I think it looks really good by the end of it, and I don't know if I've posted a lot of art with my current like quote-unquote style. I don't really have a style, but I have things that I like during certain points of time, if that makes sense. And recently I've been really loving like very sharp edges and very bold line work. And so today I was like, yeah, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. So what I did for this one was I went ahead and just drew the base sketch, and then I'm going to erase the whole thing lightly with a kneaded eraser, and then I'm going in with very soft shading, almost like I'm doing charcoal, which if you guys haven't seen, I have a video on my channel where it's completely charcoal portraits and for the 100 Heads challenge, and you will see why I love charcoal so much. I think it is a very versatile medium. You can get a lot out of it, especially if you just want to focus on value. So I love charcoal, and this reminded me of when I draw with charcoal, so I was having a really good time drawing this portrait. And honestly, I just didn't feel like coloring her in. I thought about doing like a colored pencil drawing and coloring her in with my Prismacolors, and I was like, that sounds like a lot of work that I don't feel like doing right now, like finding the colors and layering all the colors. I just didn't feel like doing all that. So here we are with, instead we're going to use graphite, and I think it ends up, like I said earlier, it turns out really good. And as you watch me shade with this very lightly, you kind of see the portrait come to life, and that's another reason why I like shading with like just graphite or just charcoal. It's a different feeling than when you're using color or paint or whatever your medium is. It's just a really good time. So I really liked the very light shading, very light hand. You can see in some of the clips I'm like very lightly moving my hand, like this right here. I'm barely touching the paper when I'm doing that, and that's how you get that very soft. It kind of gives like a dreamy look to it as well. Okay, I believe we are almost done with this portrait, but this hair gave me some trouble, guys. It was just like, I know the wind was blowing, so it was just how the hair laid, but it was really a struggle to get it to look natural, but also not awful. So I struggled a little bit with the hair, and then that was basically the last thing I did on this portrait. I overall really like it. I'm pretty happy with it, especially because I just got back from a vacation to see my family, and I drew a little bit while I was there, but not very many portraits or detailed work, a lot of very simple sketches. So I'm happy to see that my skills are not regressing slowly. Usually when I take a break, sometimes I feel like I'm not as good as I was before the break, so I'm glad that that didn't happen this time. But on this side, I wanted to do a full body, so I just searched, I think it said full body outfit of the day or something like that. And I got this lady in this very basic, very simple little outfit with some baggy pants and like a little not crop top, a little tank top. And at first I was like, oh, this looks kind of boring to draw, but because of her posture and the very like slouchy, like nonchalant vibe she was giving off, it actually was kind of fun to recreate that kind of vibe and lean into the slouch a little bit. Especially with the arms, I feel like I might have exaggerated the arm a little bit, but I really like the way it turned out. But for me personally, I do not normally draw anatomy very often. But one of my biggest goals in the past few years actually has been to get better with anatomy. And I really feel like I have. I do line of action anatomy studies quite frequently. I wouldn't say like all the time, but if I'm ever like just sitting on the couch and I don't know what to draw, that's usually what my go-to is. So by doing those, I feel like I've really improved my skills in anatomy. So I like this sketch and I didn't have to erase it 20-30 times like I used to. I used to not be able to draw full body poses at all. So I'm very, very happy with the way this is and the way this turned out. And especially the face. Normally when I draw full body, I can't really draw a face very well. It's just too small for me to do what I normally do when I'm drawing portraits. So yeah, I'm just overall very happy. And I'm glad that for my first video of 2026, I'm showing off the skills I have been developing for the whole past year of 2025. I know my whole art journey wasn't on YouTube, but a lot of it was between like, I think I started my channel in June or July through now. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. And yeah, I like it. And a thing for me for when I'm drawing anatomy is that not everything has to be exactly like the reference. For portraits, I'm a bit more nitpicky because the slightest thing off on the face can really change the person's likeness and appearance. But when it comes to anatomy, like if the arm is just a little longer, it still reads the same most of the time if you're a little off with anatomy versus a little off with a portrait, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm very happy with that sketch. And now we're doing flowers. And the first flower that popped up, I've drawn before, so I didn't want to do it. And then the second one, I'll click on it here. It was really pretty, but I was like, I can't tell if it was AI because it was like a little too clean, if that makes sense. And I have a hard time finding things and deciding if they are AI or not. It's been a very hard struggle for me because sometimes it's very easy to tell and sometimes I literally cannot tell at all. So, and I have AI turned off on my Pinterest, but I still get Pinterest AI stuff on there. So anyways, I get scared. I don't want to use an AI reference. So I found those flowers and I was like, ooh, this is a really pretty flower. And I just scrolled a little bit and found the exact same flower but I could tell that it was a real photo. Like, I could automatically tell, like, okay, yes, this is an actual photo. So I'm doing the same flower. It's just a different photo, if that makes sense. Hopefully you guys are cool with that, because that's what I'm doing. But here I'm just swatching out some of the colors that I think I might use, so I can decide which ones I use before I get started, because I really want this color to be chef's kiss. I want it to be perfectly reddish purple like the reference photo. So yeah. Okay, so we've done a little bit of the coloring for these flowers, right? And I love them so much. The colors are just, it's so good. It's so good. I will say it took so much layering. I thought I would get away with like 2 colors, 3 maybe. I was layering like 4 or 5 different colors. When I first laid it down, it was like mainly purples. So I knew that I would need red, so I put red as the base layer, and then I started putting the colors on, and I was like, no, this is like a little too pinkishy still. So then I put out this like brown, and that really helped like neutralize the saturation, I guess, and also bring it a little less reddish, pinkish, I guess. More like pinkish, because it was leaning too pink. So a little too cool. I wanted to bring it a little warmer and a little duller. So I added the brown. And then towards the bottom, because in the reference they're less saturated towards the stem. So I brought in this green to, play with the complementary colors, because that will really desaturate that area. And also green makes sense because it's turning into the stem. So there is already green in the photo as well. So yep, that's what I did for that. These are like very much a trust the process moment, because they look kind of rough until I get to the very final stages, and then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, those are really good. Like, yeah, we like those. It just, you gotta trust it. Yeah, you gotta trust it. But overall, I had a really good time drawing these and coloring them in. it did take a lot longer than I thought it would. I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm like, why does these stuff take me so long? But it makes sense, really. It does. Because I'm going pretty realistic on this specific flower. So obviously it's going to take me a minute. But yeah. And then here in a moment, you will see I'm going to go in with a white, which I normally don't like using to lighten things, but with colored pencils specifically, going in with white also smooths out the texture a little bit. So on areas I didn't want too much texture and I also wanted it a little lighter, I just threw the white on there. I was like, it's fine. Even though I was making it a little pink on those areas, which is why I don't like using white all the time. It changes the hue a little bit sometimes, a little more than I would like. But it's okay. I think it turned out good, and I think it really helped with the depth of certain flowers because certain ones you were kind of losing where things needed to be and where things were. I feel like we were losing it a little bit, so I do think the white helped a lot. But yeah, overall, love these flowers. I'm about to add the stems, which were pretty easy. I just layered a darker green, I think it was like dark green or olive green, I forget which, and then a lighter green, and then I brought in a yellow to make it a little bit more realistic of a color because the greens I chose were a little bit too blue for my liking. I like a nice yellowy green personally, and then also white just to blend. I find that, I don't know if you guys have these pencils or have heard of these pencils, but they have like a blender pencil specifically, like it's colorless, it's just for blending, but I don't like the texture of it. I prefer to blend with the white. So sometimes I use the white to blend instead of the blender. Anyways, that was kind of a random comment, but let me know if any of you guys do the same because I just cannot with the texture of the colorless blender in these pencil sets. It's just a weird texture. I don't like it. But next we are going to add some lyrics. These are the lyrics I got. Life is prettier than it may seem. And I don't know that I've heard this song or even this artist, but I like the quote. I like the lyric. It is a pretty lyric and I felt like it fit the page pretty well, so that is what we went with. I'm just not going over, but I'm just writing it out in pencil and then I will go over it with colored pencil here in a little bit. I just wanted to kind of get the layout of the rest of the page done a little bit more before I added color because I didn't know if I wanted to move things around or not. And then for the last little thing, I put ornamental design because I love that kind of sketching. I don't know if you guys have seen much of that work. A lot of that is kind of my own work that I don't do YouTube videos on. But I'm sure you've seen it a little bit in some of my sketchbooking pages. Anyways, I picked the second photo because the first photo was Christmas, so the second photo is what I drew inspiration from. I didn't copy anything off of it. I just, like I said, drew inspiration from it. And those were the designs that I put on my page here. And I kind of don't like this step. I wish I would have done it maybe in green or I don't know. I feel like once I got towards the end here, it kind of started going all over the place a little bit. I don't think it really went together. Once I started this box here, I think is when I ruined it. I don't know. Overall, it's an okay spread, but I'm just a little disappointed in the way I ended it. I think I went too crazy. I think I was like, got a little too excited and started adding a little too much. And you'll see what I mean here in a minute because I added the boxes and then I was like, this feels really unbalanced. I need like a block of color on the other side now. And then I added these and I'm like, wait, okay, no, this wasn't the right choice. But I had already committed. It's colored pencil, so I was in it. I couldn't go back. There's no going back now. So, yeah. And then I got done with those and I was like, well, now this side of the page needs these little doodles. And I'm like, no, it didn't. It really didn't. So, yeah. I kept going and I should have stopped somewhere. I don't even know where I went wrong. I'm thinking maybe the ornamental design was just not it for this spread. Maybe I should have done something different, but this is a Pinterest pick and that's what came up. So, I don't know, guys. Overall, it's not that bad. I'm being dramatic for sure, but I don't know. I liked the graphite sketches and the flowers, and I wish I could have left it like that, but that felt boring. So here's where we ended it, and it's okay. It's okay. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, if you like it, if you think maybe I did too much. But yeah, I will catch you guys next week. Bye, friends.